All right, so we are recording for those of you guys who are going to ask later on. It is recording and it will be on my YouTube that we can share with our teams going forward. So, Jill, I will unmute you. We're going to jump right in. If you want to introduce yourself, tell us how long you've been with the business and kind of your what It Works has done for you.
Hello, you guys. Okay, so like she said, my name is Jill. Okay, so I've been in the business since October 2018, so about a year and a half. And so when I first jumped in, it was not for the money. I was in this business about 5 years ago, and it didn't really work for me. I've been with so many different like network marketing companies. I was like, this isn't really going to be the one, whatever. So I was like, I just need to lose weight. I was 247 pounds, super overweight. I was like very uncomfortable with myself. I was doing in-home daycare and I was a super, super busy mom. And my husband's an over-the-road trucker. So it was me most of the time. And I was just like, okay, I need to do something. So I joined for the weight loss. And I left my upline on red for almost a month. And she messaged me like 4 days before my 30 days was up. And she was like, hey, so you have 4 days to get your $100 shopping spree, which if you guys just joined, you're really lucky you get $150 shopping spree. I'm really jealous. But she was like, you have 4 days to get your $100 shopping spree. So I did it. I was like, okay, I'll get my 4 customers. And it was really easy. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. I like the product anyways. Why not share it on my Facebook? And next thing I knew, it just like blew up for me. And so 5 months in, I went diamond and got a $10,000 bonus. 2 months after that, I got a $15,000 bonus that went double. And so I was making, sorry, my husband's in the other room. But I was making an average of like $4,500 a month. And so in the process of all this, we've always wanted to raise our kids on the farm. I'm a mom of 2, Piper and Paxton. And so we started looking at farms because we had the money and like my paycheck was going to be able to cover like our mortgage payment. And so we actually found a house. We put a down payment on it between like going double and from diamond to double. And we moved into the house the month after I went double. And then I kind of just like coasted. I don't know if you want to say like coasted, whatever, but I went back down to diamond. My paychecks like went down $2,000, which really sucks. I don't know if you guys have ever lost a ring. I was still getting paid good money, but not like I was for that 1 month. But in September, we went to green carpet. Well, me and my upline went to green carpet, and it just like changed something. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but we started like rebuilding our team and everything. And back in January at conference, I got my husband to diamond, got him a $15,000 bonus, and I went back to double diamond, and we're just living life to the fullest. I'm ready to go triple. I just boxed myself for triple for like the second time because, you know, some people just don't want to do it, but I boxed myself for triple on Monday, and we're just ready to roll. We're ready to be in the VIP and just do the dang thing.
That's so exciting. That is awesome. Yeah, I've probably restructured myself triple 13 million times. Like it's exciting though when you are going for these bigger promotions because you get to build and rebuild. And it's like, you're like, oh yeah, this girl's going to be awesome. And then all of a sudden out of left field, you have someone else come in like, oh my gosh, she's going to be awesome too. And this girl's going to fire. And it's just so exciting to watch all these different people like rise up into leadership. So it's constantly changing. I absolutely love that. Okay, so how did you start shifting that mindset from the I'm going to do whatever it takes and I'm going to do this to giving your team a chance to do it themselves? I'm not sure what color personality you are, but from what I've heard a little bit, I would say probably kind of red. And so I'm a very red personality, and I know that's something that I've always struggled with in my business is like, well, I mean, I know you probably can do it, but I know I can do it, so I'm just going to. And that's something a lot of us get stuck in our heads with. So how did you take going from that mindset to I'm going to raise up people who are going to want and do it on their own, and I'm going to let them?
So yeah, I'm a red personality, definitely like 100% red. I'm getting a little yellow, but it's fine. So when I went diamond and double, I'm a master enroller, so I can enroll customers every single day, all day. I can enroll distributors. But I wasn't giving my distributors attention like you need to. I was just pretty much putting them in a box and be like, oh, you're this box. It's not like thinking of them as a person. So I would just like show them the like videos to get started like on our team page and be done with them. And as soon as my paycheck went down to $2,000 instead of like $4,500, I was like, oh my gosh, like it took me a whole summer to just like realize like I, like, this isn't what I need to do. Like, this is not a team. It was like me asking people constantly, are you going to work? Like, getting on their butts. And I was like, okay, so when we went to green carpet, I was like, they were talking about how like the business has changed all their lives and stuff. And I was like, why? I'm just thinking of myself. Like, I was literally just thinking of how it's going to change myself. And then I pictured these people on my team and I'm like, if they're not going to put in that work, I need to replace them. So I decided I was going to rebuild. And so that's when I signed my husband up as a distributor. And I was like, okay, I'm really going to connect with these people and really just run with them and help them change their lives. And so I got my husband to Ruby in 21 days. I connected with every single one of those girls. And I put in my chat after I came back from green carpet. I said, okay, who is ready to actually like do the dang thing? Like, who is ready to run with me? And everybody that said yes, it took a lot of time, but I got every single person on Zoom and I asked them, like, what is your why? And I made them dig deep. Like, if their why was just to make some money to pay off bills, I'm like, why are you really? That's not a good why. Like, you need to have a why that will make you cry. Like, something that really means a lot to you. Like, if you don't have a good enough why, you're not going to push for it. So I helped them figure out why they're in this company, why they're really pushing. And then we helped with like their 5 pillars. I helped with everything that they were struggling with. There's people that I never really took the time to train, and that's my fault. Like, that is my bad that I didn't take that time to help them, because I had somebody helping me and I would not be where I am if I didn't have them. So I take that time to make sure everybody is doing all the things that they need to be doing on a daily basis and helping them reach their goals. And if I don't hear somebody like in the chat or whatever, like for a few days, I'm checking in on them because I don't want them to get left out in the cold. And I just don't want them to not be able to experience everything that I have. I have 2 girls on my team who are now officially full-time stay-at-home moms because I was there to help them do that. And that feels so good to say that. It's not about the money anymore. It's about helping other people change their lives.
That's so exciting. I had a similar switch at conference. Conference was the first, well, it was my second conference, and we had several girls there, and just sitting there and seeing them get so filled up with the idea of bonuses and the idea of going on stage. And it was like, man, who cares if I never promote again? If I could just help you guys, like, that is so fulfilling. And so I think that is so key, is that switch from I want success to I wonder whose life I can change, and start seeing people as people. It's so amazing when you really see the value that you can bring to people. So with based off that, how are you keeping organized each day with trying to check back in with these people? Because I know, especially coming from a place like we mass enroll a lot too, and so I mean, there's a month we sign 15 distributors. So how are you keeping up with these newbies plus the people you already are working with to make sure no one's falling through the cracks?
So one thing that I like to do, I want to know who's promoting, and we get on team Zooms every single week. I want to know what they're struggling with. Just like this week, I asked in our chat, I said, okay, what are you guys struggling with? Because I've noticed our chat was like kind of getting slow and a lot of people talking in there. And I'm like, okay, we got to like hype this up, you guys. It's the end of the month. Everybody's like going for promotions and everything. So we got on a Zoom and it was kind of intimate. And I asked them, I said, what are you guys like struggling with? And we just sat there and we pinpoint every single thing. And it takes a lot of time, you guys. I know it can be kind of like you're not doing a lot for your business when you're helping other people out with all their problems, but you're helping somebody else change their lives, and you're going to help them make their paycheck bigger. In return, it's going to make your paycheck bigger. So you just have to train them good. You have to duplicate what you're doing. So if you're doing something that's working amazing for you now and you saw it on a Zoom, share that Zoom with them if they weren't on it. Or if you tried something new today and you're like, I'm experimenting with this, do you guys want to try it out too? Let me know how it goes. But just being really connected and just having a relationship with them and talking to them. So like I said, if you don't see a lot of interactions in your chat, or if you haven't talked to somebody for a few days, go and message them, be like, hey, what's going on? Do you need me to send you like something for self-development? What can I do to help you? What are you struggling with? How far are you from your goal? I just want to know. Even if I didn't personally enroll them, I still give a crap about them. I'm going to help them like reach their goals.
That's awesome. So that kind of goes with the next question. But what are you doing to keep your team engaged and excited? I know it's so easy, like you said, you were going in, you were hyping up the chat, and it's so, as a leader, sometimes it's so, like, it just hurts your heart because you see people at the beginning of the month who are so excited. Like, I'm going and getting this $15,000 bonus, and then they just don't stay with it. So what are you kind of doing to help reinvigorate that, help keep them fired up to go out and change their lives?
You gotta ask them what their why is, and they need to remember why they're doing it, and ask them how far away they are from their goal. A lot of times I feel like it's kind of like back and forth until the 15th, and then it's like, oh my gosh, we're at the middle of the month. Like we just have to push every single day, every single month. Get your steps to success done. We do a lot of like little, like if I feel like the chat is like slow or the enrollments are down, I will do it. Like I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna give $5 Starbucks gift card today, or I'll get a few people in the chat who I feel like they just need a little bit of extra something, and we'll get on Zoom and I'll ask them what's going on. But I just want them to feel the hype from me. So I'm excited, you guys. If you're having a bad day, this is one thing that I've kind of been like talking about to a lot of people. If you feel like you're having a bad day and you're mentally like, you're just like, I don't want to do this today, it shows with your team. And you don't want your team to feel like that too. There's been days where I've listened to like 5 sermons and read like 2 chapters in a book or listened to a podcast. Don't go and talk to your team until you feel like you're ready. Like you don't want to get them down in that bad mood too. You need to have you have to have a good mindset. You need to be positive. Share your positivity with everybody else, and share your self-development, because a lot of people say they do self-development, but sometimes they don't do it.
Definitely. And you can't pour from an empty cup. So you've got to make sure you're filling yourself up first so you have the most of you to then turn around and give. So how are you launching your new distributors and making that duplicatable for your team to launch their distributors as well?
So I just started doing this, and it is so much easier than what I used to do. So I started making videos on my YouTube. And so basically when they join, I know their why before they join the business. If you guys do not have like an influencers app, like the application, I definitely advise you to do that. You can do it through like your Google something. There's a video, I think Kayla Gilbert has it on her YouTube. But go make an application. It makes it so much easier. So I do a lot of like distributor hosted posts, and I'll do a lot of opportunity posts, which we all should be doing, like opportunity posts every single day, sharing this opportunity with as many people as we can. So as soon as they say they're interested from a hosted post, like they'll either text me or they'll get into my inbox. I'm like, okay, perfect. Go fill this application out really quick, and then I'll go read it, and then I will know their why, and I'll know how to respond to them and really connect with them. So like, let's say they're a mom. I can connect really good with moms because I'm a mom and I know the struggles of being a mom. Or let's say they're just working a 9-to-5 job. I've done that. I know like the struggles. It's hard to keep up with everything, struggling with money. You just have to connect with them on a certain level, figure out their why, figure out how much money they want to make monthly, and figure out how much time they have in their day. And then when you get into like the whole signing up process, you have to be there every step of the way. You need to be checking in with your distributors. I add them. I tell them what apps to add. I tell them to go log into their account on eSuite, and then I get them over to our team page, and there's just like kind of like a welcome video. And then I ask if they have any questions. I'll get them on phone. I'll get them on Zoom, whatever. I just want to connect with them and build that relationship. Then I get them over to my YouTube, and I have videos on how to like do a host a post, what posting every single day, just like kind of daily tasks and like the main things with like what you need to be doing on a daily basis. And then if they have any questions, we'll go over that. And I just get them on Host a Post right away. Like Host a Post is what I live for. Like it's my absolute favorite. You guys, Rachel Jones is like the Host a Post queen. If you don't know, she's amazing. And she's my one of my uplines. She's further up there. But we do Host a Post like nonstop. So we'll just do like our warm market, which is basically like your friends, your family, 30 people, whatever. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less, but we're going to ask them. We're just basically, it's just, hey, I just jumped into this amazing opportunity, and I was wondering if you'd be willing to help me out by posting something on your wall. And then they'd get a host to post up, and that's a win. And they're going to teach them how to start expanding their network and all the things. And then we're going to ask the person that posted if they would want to do a 90-day challenge for 40% off. So then we're just going to get into that. I want them to mostly focus on getting their first 6 customers so they can get that $150 shopping spree. And right now, that $50 cash bonus. And then we're going to start working on the steps to success, which is just like getting your distributors, getting their 6 loyals every single month, but staying really connected. And what's been working for me is because I've been like sending distributors a lot this month, and they can get lost in the sauce real easy. I just get them in a group chat and I help them make posts every single day. I'm like, okay, what do you want to post about today? So like today, I just signed a few distributors this last week, and they don't have anything on hand yet. So we're talking about pre-selling those sample packs. There's a girl that joined a few weeks ago. She sold 10 sample packs in her first few days. That's $200, you guys. Like, they can start making money right off the bat. It's amazing. But it's just duplicate that same process. And when they're ready to start studying distributors, have them do the exact same thing. If they're brand new, get in a group chat with them. It's going to take a lot of time, but it's going to help build a new leader, because that's what they're doing. They're going to start building their business and go for Ruby right away.
I love that. And like the getting in the group chat with them, it's so cool. And especially if you are red, it's so easy to want to do things. And so one of the things that I started doing, I don't know, 2 months ago probably, is I'm huge on one-on-one Zooms. You're new, we're getting on a Zoom together face to face. If you're not new, we're still doing this every month. And so what I was doing is I was having our team, like, say one of my girls signed a distributor. All three of us would get on the Zoom and then I would lead it. But then now my distributor who's signing distributors knows how to lead these because she's watched me do it. And so she's not going into it like, I don't know what to do. No, she has confidence just by watching me. And so there's so much you can teach still by doing that eventually you're going to be able to have that confidence in them because you know they've watched you do it so many times. So kind of with that and the duplication, how do you duplicate the mindset with it? Because I know it's so easy to, one, be scared of leadership because that's responsibility and you will become responsible for someone else's business. In a sense, at the end of the day, it's on them, but your influence can impact that. And then at the same time, it's sometimes hard to let go of that control. So how are you teaching your team and your new girls coming in to be leaders and then teaching their teams to be leaders, if that makes sense?
Yes, that does. Okay, so what I've been doing, I've been just working on this, but it's helping me and it's helping them in their leadership too, is co-sponsoring. So when you're starting a distributor, if you guys have a lot of distributors under you or you're diamond or above, you usually place them underneath of somebody else. So we're letting them co-sponsor. So as soon as I get them through their like initial training and they have like 1 or 2 customers, I'm going to introduce them to their upline and I'm going to let their upline take over, but we'll still have a group chat just in case they need anything with me. Because I don't want them to feel like they're just like left out in the cold after I tell them I'm going to be there every step of the way. I'm still going to be there, but they're going to have somebody else to lean on too. So I have a few girls in my team who have been signing distributors like crazy. They don't really know what they're doing because they are brand new. So I'm talking them through it and we're getting in group chats and then they're doing their own Zooms and just like I help them like take notes on what we need to be talking about and asking them like all the questions, like what are you struggling with right now? And I'll help them find that solution and step up in their leadership. But I feel like the confidence thing, like they need to do the self-development. There's so many, Ed Mylett is like my favorite person in the entire world. And he has a really good podcast on YouTube about building that confidence and becoming a leader. And I like them to listen. I share podcasts or not podcasts. I share self-development a lot just for people. Like if I feel like somebody's struggling, I'm gonna share it with them, but I'll have them step up and talk on Zoom. Like there is a girl on our team that joined maybe 2 or 3 months ago and she signed like 9 distributors. I'm not sure. She has quite a few under her, but she gets really like overwhelmed. And I was like, okay, let's get on Zoom. And we got her on Zoom and she was talking about like how we always have excuses, which that's a way different conversation, but that's her stepping up in her leadership. Like if you guys feel like your team doesn't see you as a leader, talk to your upline and they'll reassure you because if you guys can sign distributors, they can sign distributors and your team will start duplicating. And just step up and be confident. If you've just been in for a few days, you still know more than they do. And if you don't, you can ask your upline and they're there to help you. So just having that confidence in doing your self-development every single day, that's what's going to help you rise up in leadership.
And I love, we keep going back to duplication. I know that's like everyone's like want to know, like, how do I duplicate everything I do? And it's so cool because the easiest way to duplicate things is to just do them. Like if I'm super consistent with getting up 10 posts a day and being loud about it, my team's going to start seeing that as the normal and start doing that. If I'm really consistent posting in my stories, my team's going to start creating their own content for their stories without me asking. And if I'm really confident in my leadership and who I am and standing in front of people like that, your team is going to catch on and start embodying those same things without you having to do anything. Leading from the front is seriously so powerful. Like that is like the key to it all is you've got to be doing it first and your team is going to catch on eventually. So how has switching your mindset from all of this since Green Carpet really changed your business?
So we have a lot of fun now. Before I felt like it was just me getting on everybody all the time. You need to get on Zoom. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing this. And now I'm focusing on the people who want this and who are ready to go. And we're more than just a team. I feel like we have that friendship too. We'll get on like a power hour. We'll just sit there and we'll just talk and we'll listen to music and we'll do all the things that you're supposed to do. But we created those friendships and we have a connection now. And before we didn't have that. And they know that I believe in them because every single one of them, they joined for a reason. And I know that reason. And I made that connection with them. And I'm going to help them make it happen. And I'm going to ask them. Like, I'm not scared to ask them. And I hope they're not scared to ask their downline. I'll ask them, like, what's wrong with you? And I'll ask them, do you want me to be hard on you? Like, if somebody's struggling and I'm like, do you want me to be on your butt 24/7? Because I will. Like, I will do that. Or if I'm too much, I'll back up. I know the person, and that just, it makes it so much easier. And they'll come to me and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I just got like 3 distributors this month or something like that. Just something, and celebrating those little wins because it's fun. It's like you were saying, like if you get 10 hosts to post up a day, if somebody who never gets hosts to post up or they get like 3 up a day, they get 15 up a day, they're going to be loud in that chat and excited. You guys, like, you have to celebrate every single little win, even if it's not like bringing in volume, or maybe they lost like 6 pounds. Celebrate it. Talk about it on your story. Like, talk about how your team is doing this and share with everybody else. Like, that's part of your story. Like, share how you have this connection with your team and that they are changing their lives too.
I absolutely love that. Most of us join for the money, but we stay for the relationships, and creating that environment of fun and friendships is going to take your business from just being a business to being like a legacy. And you're creating something bigger than just financial gain. I love that. So I'm trying to keep this closer to 30 minutes because it's month end, guys. And I know all of you on here, all 32 of us, we're promoting and stuff. So we don't want to take up too much time. So the last question I've got for you is, what would be your biggest tip to someone who's going for ruby, emerald, diamond, sometimes even double, and feels like they don't have a working team and that they can't promote without that?
Sign some distributors. You have to look at your chart. So what I did when I was rebuilding, I erased every single person on my chart who was not working. I had a naked chart. It was the scariest thing in my life to look at, but I was like, this is going to help me in the long run. And like the way I feel now about my team, I'm really confident in my team now. Before I was just like, okay, so I have to go put 17 customers under this person because they're not working. That's a waste because they're not working and you're giving them free money. And the people who are really working for it aren't getting anything out of it. So sit down. If you guys feel like you're like, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, sit down and look at your chart. Where do you need the most volume? Who isn't working? Who is working? And work with those ones. And you can always sign more distributors. Like, share your story like crazy. You can always fill that spot with somebody else who has a different reason why they're going to join this company, and ask that person, like, get to know that person and ask them, like, what is your goal, and really help them with that goal. Write their name down. I have one, I'm going to show you this. So one thing, actually it's pinned to my wall. I don't want to knock it down, but I wrote like a chart that for every, I just started this last month, and for every single distributor I wrote down, I used to just check off a box for where, like when I rolled up, now I'm writing their names. So I'm like, okay, have I talked to Angela in the past day or two? Have I talked to Cynthia? It means a lot more because you're not just filling in a box. You're filling in, it's a person, and you need to get in contact with that person. And same with loyal customers, because I never had relationships with my loyal customers. And now I have a lot of them that just like, they'll message me, they're like, why didn't you go live today? Or I missed you today, or something like that. But just knowing that it's another person that you're going to help change their life. And if you feel like so overwhelmed, you're like, I need like, if you erase those people off your chart and you're like, I have like nobody, it's time to rebuild. And believe in yourself, because you guys, you've signed distributors. If you have a chart, you've obviously signed distributors, and you can always do it again. Just share your story and be excited, because you're going to change somebody else's life by sharing this business with them. And it's going to change your life also.
That was absolutely perfect. I love it. If you guys have any quick last minute questions, drop them in the chat. If not, we're going to wrap up. So I'll give you guys like a whole 2 seconds to put those in there if you have any questions. But thank you, Jill, so much for taking time out and coming and chatting with us tonight. I know leadership is one of those like most amazing things about this business, really developing, but it's also one of those hard and scary things to get to. So I'm so thankful for you to share your experience and hop on here with us. And I think no one's got questions. So we're